I hate to say it, but a lot of Filipinos like criticize me, but that's just how I grew up. You know, that's just how I grew up, and I don't think I'm better than my people for that. The way I spoke, people would like be like, "Why are you talking like that? Are you mayabang?" Which means cocky. They think that I'm cocky because I have an American. I didn't even know American accent apparently.
What would you say the dating scene is like here? Could you say it's different in BGC versus maybe other parts of the Philippines?
Living in the West, we just started seeing a really large decline. For context, guys, we're from Chicago. Like, man, what they say on the news, you go on the news and you're like, okay, what happened today? And then secondly, we got robbed 3 months into living here.
Really? So talk about passport bros, right?
Sure.
So that's obviously been a phenomenon. What you know who David Bond is?
Yeah, he's in Cebu, right?
Yeah. He has a theory. What's he called? It? Male exodus.
Started making all those kind of videos, and then thus was born the Savvy Expat. For me, when I look back on the people that give me their testimony of how their life was affected by watching the channel, like the channel has helped them move to the Philippines, like, and it helped them completely live a different lifestyle and help them make that next step to leaving the West and coming to what they would consider paradise.
Okay, welcome back, Savvy Expats. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. We are in the streets of BGC today, and I'm with my buddy here, Evan, from the Savvy Expat, which I'm sure you've seen before. He's got a YouTube channel on like everything Philippines, where it comes to finances, retiring. You're doing visas now too, right?
Visas, yeah, we do everything.
Yeah, visas. And you describe it, bro. What did you say your channel is?
Well, Aaron,
in a nutshell,
I appreciate you having me onto the channel, man. It's a pleasure. I actually had Aaron on my channel. We did a podcast, and it was so great. But basically, in my channel, I cover everything about moving to the Philippines and helping expats essentially have a successful retirement, a successful move to the Philippines that involves visas, real estate, places to live, cost of living, like everything that's all-encompassing about basically settling down in the Philippines I cover. And a lot of it has been interviews lately just to get the stories of other expats like yourself.
Okay, so this one is exciting for me, honestly, because I was telling Evan before that I've seen a lot of his videos in the past. Even before I decided to come out here, I was watching his videos. So I've been kind of curious about the history, you know, because I know your family came out here, right?
Yeah.
They moved out here. So what year, when did they decide and when did you guys actually move out to the Philippines?
So we decided to move to the Philippines in 2018. Okay. Finally made the move in 2019.
Oh, wow.
So we came here right before the pandemic.
And that was like way before anyone else really kind of did that, right?
Or like before, as a move to the Philippines?
Yeah, at least as a family, right?
Yeah, very few. I mean, at least like publicly speaking. So like my family, we're not public on social media. I'm the only one that is.
Yeah.
But like now you're seeing all these other vlogging channels that are blowing up in BGC, and yeah, that's becoming a trend, I suppose.
So then you guys moved here 2019, and then were you still in your school? Because how old were you then? You know,
I was 17.
You're 17. So did you finish high school then?
No, I didn't fully finish high school. So I did half of my high school in the U.S. Public school, just like, you know, we live a white picket fence lifestyle, classic American dream, I suppose you could say.
Yeah.
I was born and raised in Chicago, and then we eventually moved over to the Philippines, and then I finished the last 2 years online. So US curriculum.
Wow. See, that's interesting then. So you guys did that. So how was that? Like, were you excited to move? Or was it kind of like...
Oh yeah, I was so excited to move. Yeah.
Oh, really?
So everyone's initial impressions of the Philippines is that it's dirt cheap and it's poverty and you're in the middle of a jungle and whatnot.
Yeah.
But my dad, he showed me a different side because he originally was living in Rockwell before, which is a beautiful city in the Philippines, Makati.
Oh, yeah.
So he showed me some videos of that. I was like, that's beautiful. And then I was watching some other early vloggers. I think it was actually Making It Happen vlog that was based in BGC. I'm like, what is this Venice Grand Canal Mall, this replica of Italy? It looks beautiful. And I saw SM Aura. I'm like, all these places around BGC look amazing. I didn't even know what a BGC was. Came here to the Philippines, and I hated it the first 2 years. I hated it because, number one, I didn't have a social circle. I was basically pulled out of my life in the States, all my friends and everything. And then secondly, we got robbed 3 months into living here.
Really?
So we were in Subic, and it was one of those Airbnbs that was essentially a scam because you look online, it looks beautiful, they call it a resort. You get there, it's in a sketchy neighborhood, and it just looks nothing like the photos.
Oh,
nothing
man.
like it. So we stayed there. All of our gadgets stolen. Thankfully, we came out okay, but we didn't let that we didn't let that taint our perception of what the Philippines was.
Yeah.
Then we came to BGC, and then obviously it's a bubble here, so.
Yeah.
And then life started looking up from there.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Yeah.
So then did you like it right off the bat when you got here? Like, were you like, oh, I'm here? Or did it kind of take you a couple months to get adjusted?
I didn't, Aaron, because the thing is I'm Filipino, but like in the U.S. as a Filipino American, just to give you context, my grandparents came here at a young age. My parents are pretty much raised here as well. Not here, sorry. My grandparents came to the U.S. at a young age.
Oh,
my parents they were raised in the U.S.
Wow.
I was born and raised in the U.S. So like I'm a coconut. I'm brown on the outside, white on the inside. By all means.
Yeah.
So like everything, mindset, mentality, the way I was raised, all of that was completely American by all standards.
Yeah.
And I hate to say it, but a lot of Filipinos criticize me, but that's just how I grew up. That's just how I grew up, and I don't think I'm better than my people for that.
Yeah.
So when I eventually came here to the Philippines, the way I spoke, people would be like, "Why are you talking like that? Are you mayabang?" Which means cocky. They think that I'm cocky because I have an American. I didn't even know American accent apparently. So they think I'm cocky, and I understand where they're coming from as well. And then they think that I'm just putting on a facade or whatever.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was hard. Basically, my point is, I had a hard time connecting with friends here.
Yeah. No, I hear you.
Because it's just a different background.
Yeah, no, I hear you, man. I can relate to that too, because I'm half Mexican, right?
Yeah.
And people don't realize it, and I don't even feel like it sometimes, right?
Right.
So it's like everyone who's Mexican doesn't think I'm Mexican. Everyone who's like not Mexican doesn't think I'm like white or whatever. Not in a bad way. They're just like. So yeah, it was always kind of like. I don't want to say you can call it maybe an identity crisis or something. You know what I mean? Like something like that. So
I don't know who I am.
So and that's just that's because I've told people like that because the same thing. Even my grandparents were raised in America. Like even though my grandma and stuff speak Spanish and like everything, like she was born in America, so it's like the same kind of thing. Yeah. And I think a lot of it's like that in America. Everyone's mixed, So it's like
that's the thing. The U.S. is a melting pot, but like a lot of I'd say a lot of the Filipinos I know around here, they have a hard time, or like it's hard for them to wrap their head around someone being full Filipino but being completely raised by all measures and standards in America.
I know.
In America, raised there and whatnot.
Yeah.
I don't blame them. So what I had to do was completely learn the language from scratch. Because I wasn't taught it in the U.S. There's really no need to speak Tagalog in the U.S.
Yeah.
But obviously I'm in the Philippines, so I speak Tagalog now.
Oh, you speak Tagalog now?
Yeah, I do. I had to learn.
Wow, dang. So how's that? So are you? What would you say on a scale from 1 to 10? Like where are you at?
A solid 6.
Really, that much, huh?
I guess it's a lot.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, for me it's a lot because I didn't know a lick of Tagalog stepping off the plane.
Yeah.
But obviously, if you want to connect with the people, my people, I had to learn the language.
Yeah, I understand that, man. So, wow, so then your grandparents and your parents were born in the U.S. So did your grandparents come back here too?
Well, actually, my grandparents were born in a province here in the Philippines.
Sorry, here.
But they were pretty much, they lived almost their entire life in the U.S. Yeah.
So that's cool. So then, real quick though, what made your parents decide to do that? So,
Oh, good question.
Yeah.
Yeah, so basically living in the West, we just started seeing a really large decline. For context, guys, we're from Chicago. Not the south side or anything. We're actually from a nice suburb. A nice suburb in Chicago, 20 minutes outside of downtown. And man, what they say on the news, you constantly have to just you go on the news and you're like, okay, what happened today? You're just prepared mentally. And you see all the crime rates are rising. You see the inflation going up. Political division left and right, people looting the stores and all that.
Yeah.
Cold weather, everything.
Bad roads, right?
Bad roads. Everything about the West is less first world than what it would have been 20 years ago.
Yeah.
And then as a matter of fact, you come here to the Philippines and things are just more peaceful. It's more calm. And not to mention that we're Filipino as well. So, we just went back to our roots basically.
Yeah. So your parents, that's interesting. They saw that early on, They probably saw it coming. So then did your parents, did they retire? Are they still working here? They kind of work from home kind of thing?
So my dad, he's retired. And my mom, she's a remote accountant. So
nice.
runs an online business for U.S. clients.
Oh, cool.
But based here in the Philippines.
Man, that's awesome. Like I was telling Evan before, I had mentioned it earlier. I really like this content. I was telling him man, this dude, he's got it on the money. He was during COVID times. He was, you were marketing directly towards. I feel like you're talking to me. you
Oh,
know,
man.
and I was like back home, like late 20s, you know, in America. For me, I've basically YouTube's my TV. For the last 5 to 8 years, I've only watched YouTube. I've wanted to make videos for years, and then finally did make videos. But so how was it for you? You grew up with YouTube, and did you always want to make videos, or like how did that?
Yeah, I definitely grew up with YouTube my entire life, and I didn't necessarily think I'd ever be a vlogger. I was actually like opposed to being a quote unquote influencer.
Yeah.
I was like, that's cringe, that's lame.
Yeah.
But then I started documenting my Philippine journey as a personal channel. So it's called Evan Loresca. And I was documenting my personal journey as I guess you could say a Filipino American or a Filipino who grew up in the U.S. and then moved to the Philippines and is experiencing a reverse culture shock.
Yeah.
And just all my experiences. Wasn't getting any views. Nobody cares about your daily vlog and daily life, I guess.
Yeah.
So I switched over to like more relating to expats. I'm like, I thought about it. What do expats want to see? Because I can kind of bridge the gap. I'm Filipino, but I'm also from the U.S.
Yeah.
And okay, they want to know about retirement. They want to know about cost of living. They want to know about which cities to live in. I started making all those kind of videos, and then thus was born the Savvy Expat.
Yeah. So you how old were you when you started it, or how old were you when you conceptualized the idea?
I think I was ending my 16th year, being 16, I mean. Yeah.
Wow.
So I was pretty much 17.
Damn. So see, that's crazy. So why? So what was it? How did you see that angle? Like, what made you think of that? Like, it just kind of came up to you, or?
I think it was just understanding, like, I wouldn't say market, but yeah, technically a market. I was understanding a market that had a demand and wasn't there. And there was no supply.
Was it from the videos you were watching and just kind of?
Dude, like, I don't think there's a lot of people doing these kind of videos. I take that back. There was a lot of people, not as much as now, but there wasn't like a lot of people covering information the way that I wanted it to be covered. Meaning, I wanted it direct, I wanted it straight to the point, and I want realistic. There was a lot of guys in Dumaguete saying, live like a king on $500 per month. And there's all these vloggers talking about cost of living, retirement, real estate, visas, all this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But then the videos were fluff, they were too long, and it was just, it was like watching paint dry.
Yeah.
I'm not going to list anybody in specific because like they're all great guys, I'm sure.
Yeah. Which one do you hate the most? No, I'm just kidding. No.
Well, just kidding. Yeah, but so then I just wanted to do it my own way and then make it better.
Yeah.
So, and I think there's a lot of expats that were curious, and they're curious about what life is like in the Philippines. They knew for sure they wanted to leave the U.S., but what's on the other side? They'd ask themselves.
Yeah.
And I'd basically get in the mind of a normal expat and cover this content, that topic.
Yeah. Okay, I hear you. So then so far, so how long has it been since you've had the Savvy Expat? Is it 2 years or 3?
Yeah, 2 years.
It's been 2 years?
2 years.
What do you like the most about it? What do you like the least about it? Or maybe most challenging?
Oh, about the Savvy Expat.
Yeah. Like, what's the best thing and the worst thing about it?
The best thing is by far the people I meet. So it's a pleasure to meet you, pleasure to meet all the other vloggers I've met. And the worst thing, the editing.
Oh, the editing?
Yeah, nobody likes watching paint dry. Oh, excuse me. Nobody likes watching, just it takes so long,
Boring.
6 hours.
I know.
It's boring.
Yeah.
Yeah, the editing. Yeah.
How long does it take you to do like well, I know the videos are different, but let's just say in general, like, how much does it take? How long does it take you to do?
In the beginning, when I was editing my own videos, it took me around 6 to 8 hours.
Okay. Yeah, because your first ones I watched were highly edited. It was constantly clipping. You had all kinds of video clips and
Exactly.
things from the inside.
But then I hired an editor because that's how much I didn't like it.
Oh, wow.
So I hired an editor. Now I have one, and so that doesn't take any of my time. So the worst part about being a vlogger is editing. We talked about it earlier. It gets pretty lonely sometimes as well.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And then also I don't like. It's a easily discreditable job, I think, or occupation, a lot of people will say. So like people online
constantly self-conscious about it.
yeah, you can be very self-conscious about it, and then you'll get a lot of comments about like, do something real with your life and stuff like that. But it's crazy, like
While they're watching you.
While they're watching me, while they're giving me engagement, comments, likes, and I appreciate it.
Like, why don't you find something better to do?
Yeah, so that's so true. But then also, you look back on like, for me, when I look back on the people that give me their testimony of how their life was affected by watching the channel, like they say, the channel has helped them move to the Philippines, like, and it helped them completely live a different lifestyle and help them make that next step to leaving the West and coming to what they would consider paradise. And I'm like, wow, there's actually a lot of values for it. in it for people.
Yeah, 100%.
yeah.
So do you get people a lot that come, like, that message you or that you see on the street? People see you a lot on the street, right?
Yeah.
Do people come up to you a lot? Or not really?
No, actually, it's funny.
Really?
I get a few here and there, but what I do see more often is comments that say, "Oh, I saw you at the 3D screen on High Street, but I didn't want to come and say hi," or "I saw you there at the
that's
Thai
funny.
restaurant with
Yeah.
whoever." So, yeah.
Oh, that's funny. That's funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy. Well, that's cool. So then what do you think then? Because I'm kind of curious. There's probably a good amount of people that have moved here because of you. Huh? I mean, there's got to be, like, literally, there's got to be like, okay, they saw your videos, and either they were already thinking about it, or you planted the seed and pushed them over the edge, you know?
No, yeah, I think there's a decent amount. I have one that lives in my building who was like watching my channel and basically said the channel is why he moved to the Philippines, or why he moved to BGC specifically.
Oh, okay.
So I think most expats, when they come to they know they want to come to the Philippines,
Yeah.
but I think the channel plays a better role in them choosing specifically where in the Philippines, which is BGC.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So then, yeah, let's kind of pivot into that. Obviously, you know, I mean, I guess it depends on the person. But do you think BGC is the best city in the Philippines? And not necessarily as far as development, but just overall living.
Yeah, I 100% say
think
so.
so? Yeah.
I say so. But yeah, like you said, it's not for everybody. So that's what I always like to disclaim in my videos. Like, BGC is not for everybody. If you like beaches, don't come to BGC. If you want a lot of bang for your buck, then BGC is not the place either.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. Yeah, that's the thing too. So people get it skewed. It's a lot more expensive than you think, right? Like, now, don't get me wrong. If you're to compare apples to apples in America, maybe as far as like the niceness of the area and the niceness of certain products, it's cheaper here, like maybe restaurants and stuff.
Yeah.
But it's a lot more expensive than you guess, right? I mean,
It is. Well, yeah. So if we're comparing it relative to the U.S., it is more affordable.
Yeah, much more, yeah.
Much more affordable. But if you're comparing it to, like, I guess the rest of the Philippines, yeah, it's the most expensive city in the country.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so real quick, so what do you think is one of the most expensive things in BGC that people maybe not realize?
Maybe they're very aware, but I think rent is like it's
yeah.
too crazy. I mean, not crazy, but it's expensive in BGC.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
Makati is a beautiful city as well. Probably the closest version to what BGC is.
Yeah.
But even the rent in Makati is so much better, and you get more square meters for how much you pay. Where BGC, like, I gotta say it, a lot of the condos are shoeboxes, and if you want to pay for like a spacious condo by American standard, you're gonna have to pay $2,000 and up.
Yeah.
Minimum.
And even the Airbnbs, I remember I was looking at some Airbnbs here. I've stayed in one here, and it was like, dude, it was not even nice, and it was like, it was expensive, you know?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, so that's one. Food, I can't say, because like you have a lot of options here, and it's up to you what budget restaurants you want to choose. But yeah, I think it's basically just a rent.
yeah, nice. One of the biggest things, you know, that is an attraction for foreigners, or it's kind of a major point, is the dating scene in the Philippines, right? So, what would you say the dating scene is like here? Could you say it's different in BGC versus maybe other parts of the Philippines?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Do you think, I mean, kind of give your thoughts on that.
Yeah, so the dating scene in BGC is a lot more akin to like the West. As opposed to like in the province, you're gonna find more of a traditional woman. Like traditional in the sense like even to the point where you have to get the father's blessing to court the girl.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow, like ask if you can even date her?
Yeah.
Wow.
In some
Like,
most
yeah.
I think a lot of provinces. Yeah, very traditional. Because even in my experience, that's the case in Manila even for some. Not as common, but even in Manila.
Oh,
so
wow.
if that's the case in Manila, what more out in like the province where they're a lot more traditional. But yeah, in BGC, I'd say that the woman you find here is more Western, and of course the English is a little bit different as well. They have better English,
Yeah.
and their values could differ slightly as well.
Yeah, it's like a little bit more, yeah, like you said, maybe a little bit more to the Western
Exactly,
values kind of thing, yeah. So what's your experience been with it?
With dating, so I've
Yeah,
only
with
dated in Manila, and in BGC and Makati, and yeah, it's been all right. Like, cause I come from the West, so I'm used to it.
Yeah.
And I know why a lot of expats they come here is because they want to find a more traditional woman who is probably more geared to being a mother and taking care of the home, whatever it may be.
Yeah.
Some
They
may
are
call
really-
it passport bros. I don't know.
Yeah, I know.
We can get into that, but like, yeah. So the women here, they're also like, it's interesting because in BGC they're a mix of both. So like they're Western in the sense that they'll understand all of your references and jokes and humor.
Yeah, it's so shocking sometimes, right?
But then they
Yeah.
still have that traditional side to them, which I love. I really
yeah. Yeah, I've made some jokes and some term like sayings, like
Yeah.
American sayings, references, and like I've been like, oh, they're like, oh, I'm like, you understand that? They're like, yeah. I'm like, what?
do.
You
Yeah.
know, so it's interesting. Yeah, it's like there's a lot of influence in that as far as that goes. But.
Definitely.
So you got 40K today now, right?
Yeah, just
YouTube.
today.
So congrats, you know.
Appreciate it, man.
That's awesome. And then, so are you gonna go? You're going deep. You're all in on YouTube, right?
I'm all in.
Yeah.
I'm all in.
So I noticed before there was like some kind of visa thing you were gonna do, or visa service. Is that still a thing?
Yeah, that's still part of it. Like,
Uh-huh.
if anyone wants to get their visas handled and they need my help with acquiring a visa, I can do that. But I don't really actively look for people that need help with that.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay, gotcha. This is kind of like a side. This is something to look out for. Like
Exactly.
you're-
Like
you're-
the service
you're
is
there
always
for
there
it.
if they need
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I mainly handle like real estate actually. So just the other month I helped get the keys and leasing agreement for one of my clients coming from the U.S. And he wanted a condo already. He wanted a leasing agreement. He wanted the whole deal brokered by me before he even came here to the Philippines. So we were able to do that, and I have the keys for him ready. He's gonna be coming in a couple weeks from now, and so it kind of just makes your life easier. And then I can ask them like, if you need any help with visas, I can also help you there. But
Okay.
yeah.
All right. So then we got that. So then let's just kind of pivot a little bit too. So what? Let's just talk. Maybe we can talk about passport bros, right?
Sure.
So
Yeah,
that's obviously been like a phenomenon. What you know who David Bond is?
Yeah, he's in Cebu, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He has a theory. What's he called? Male exodus thing.
Male exodus.
It's like his term for the passport bros, essentially, where like men are leaving certain countries for like a better dating scene. Is essentially what it is. So, I mean, how do you feel about that? I mean, because I think it's always happened, right? It's always, but I think it's been at a smaller scale, you know?
Right.
So, but now it's, especially with like social media, it's
Right. And it's popularized now. It's
yeah,
common.
it's more like acceptable in a sense,
Yeah.
maybe you could say. So, I mean, what do you think about all that? It's kind of
I personally have no problem with it. I think the only problem arises when like the passport bros kind of taint the country in a way.
Yeah.
So I've talked to multiple expats who were here in the Philippines and they moved to the Philippines specifically because they no longer wanted to stay in Medellin, Colombia.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
if you know like Medellin, Colombia, it's a huge passport bro like. You know, if you throw a dart into one place and all the passport bros go, like that's like the breeding grounds for them, I
Yeah,
think.
yeah.
So they all go to Colombia, but they just left because like they felt like it was getting too toxic. A lot of these guys are sexpats and they just ruin the whole scene.
Mm-hmm.
They're almost like fake ballers in a way. Like they present themselves
balling on
to
a
be
budget.
balling on a budget. You know,
Yeah.
presenting themselves to be something that they're not.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean that's where it becomes toxic, and then they also demand a lot from locals as well.
Yeah.
So, and you have that here in the Philippines. Like you have a lot of expats here that are coming just for malicious reasons, and just ruining the place.
Come just run through this place.
Basically, literally. So.
Yeah, nice. All right. So then, what are you gonna do as far as? Are you gonna stay in the BGC? Are you gonna travel around the Philippines in the future with your
Oh
channel?
yeah, definitely.
Or
Like
do
I
you-
already have content.
Yeah.
Me going to Siargao and stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, I really dialed down on the BGC content
Yeah,
a
yeah.
lot because it's kind of the niche that I found grew the most for me,
Yeah, yeah.
and it's almost like I capitalize on the city, capitalize
Yeah,
on
oh,
this
yeah.
niche. Yeah. So I'm staying in BGC for now, but I'm definitely open to going to other places for sure. As far as the plan, I'm just gonna post as much as possible.
So do you think in the future you're gonna try to venture out of the Philippines,
Oh,
regional, or do you
yeah.
think?
Yeah.
I was just asking about the Philippines, but to the next question, do you think you'll go out maybe broader Southeast Asia, or do you think you'll kind of just stay focused on the Philippines?
Absolutely, 100%. And that's why like I didn't name my channel That Philippine Dream or That Philippine Life, Philippine
Yeah.
Retirement, whatever. I called it the Savvy Expat for a specific reason. And it's because it's very general.
Yeah.
Expat can be anywhere in the world, so
Yeah.
I'm not limited to one place. And the Philippines, as much as this is my country and I love it and it's 100% always going to be my home.
Yeah.
I'm definitely more than willing to travel to other countries and make content there.
Yeah, nice. All right, man. So I guess we'll try to wrap this up, and let's I guess for foreigners specifically that are watching this, that either want to come here for vacation or to live. I mean, definitely. Well, let me say this: if you want to come here to live and you want information, go check out the Savvy Expat because he has a ton of really good videos. He's got finance, real estate, cost of living, everything, dating, all of it. So
thank you.
And legitimately, it's good and it's to the point.
Appreciate it.
But as far as like foreigners that want to come here, what's like a couple, the couple tips?
Oh, a couple tips.
Or let's just say like for vacation.
For vacation, I think that coming to BGC is probably the best soft landing spot to get to come to, because number one, you have so many places to exchange your money.
Yeah.
It's very comfortable, so you can get your bearings right.
Yeah, really safe too.
Yeah, really safe. So come to BGC, stay here for 3 to 5 days and just get your bearings right. Get whatever you need, your SIM card, just exchange your money. It's very safe here, and just get a feel for the people in the country. And it's so easy to do when you come to BGC first. So that's number one: is come to a safe, comfortable city and just get self straight. It could be BGC, it could be Makati, it could be Cebu. And then go out and then venture out to other places and test the waters. I recommend try looking for places that are not so touristy, just so that you can experience the real Philippines as well. And I have a 15-step checklist on my YouTube channel, which just basically goes through the step-by-step steps that an expat should take for a successful move or vacation in the Philippines. A lot of it just includes the basics, like that's often uncovered, which is opening up a bank account, getting a SIM card, exchanging your money, like to the T of what an expat should do, bring, and consider when coming here. So.
Okay, nice. Okay, yeah. So definitely you can go over to his channel and check that out. He's got all the information, and really, like I said earlier, if you want information, just go to the Savvy Expat. So then, as far as like moving, what's like a quick thing you could say? Because I would say, in my experience, I would say you should come to Asia for a while, as long as you can, before, I would say maybe, in my opinion, I've said in the past, like a few months, if you can, because I feel like at a few months in my travels, I kind of hit a point where I was like, almost, I want to say the itch got scratched. Like that curiosity got filled. I kind of saw a lot. I got to experience, and I think some people because if they come for a week or 2 weeks, it's all fun and like rainbows,
Exactly.
But after a month or 2 months or even 3, for me personally, it seemed like at that 3-month mark is when I kind of got the full dose, you should say,
Well, I mean, it depends also on like what your goals are. If you are eyeing retirement here in the Philippines, which basically means for the rest of your golden years, the rest of your life, like stay here for minimum 6 months, like 3 to 6 months, because you're right, like the itch does get scratched. I've lived in BGC for 4 years and I'm so used to the city, I'm so used to the Philippines now.
Yeah.
And not that the itch got scratched, but like it just feels like home for me. So like, a lot of expats, they want that sense of adventure and excitement in their life. And it may come to a halt when you just get used to everything. And it all depends on the person.
Yeah. So then, just to touch on that too, would you say that maybe it's ideal for people to, because for me personally, I think I would like to live like maybe 6 months in Asia, a few months back home, and kind of get a balance. Would you say that's kind of like an ideal thing? You think, I mean, it's case by case basis, but you think it's better just people just kind of uproot and stay here forever, or?
I think, it depends on the person, but for most expats, it'll probably be most ideal if they split their time between the US and the Philippines. Number one, because they're pretty much forced to, because their visa situation, if they're not married to a Filipina, and if they don't have a retirement visa here. So if you have no ties to the Philippines whatsoever, your visa situation is going to eventually force you to go back to the US. Secondly, you most likely have other stuff to handle there. Banking, maybe you have a property still there, a home that you're renting, family perhaps. You're gonna, in the holidays, I mean, imagine if you're just alone on the holidays and your family's back in the States. I mean, I'm sure you've experienced that, right?
I was alone on Christmas. I couldn't even get food. Because all the, I couldn't get food delivery. It was so booked out, and then but it's fine. It's like it's a great choice. But there's definitely that.
Definitely. So I mean, I think most expats' ideal setup is to split their time between the Philippines and the U.S.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah. All right, man. Well, okay. Well, I appreciate it. It's great for
Yes.
having you on.
Likewise,
It's a good interview.
likewise.
Like I said, ladies and gentlemen, you need to check out the Savvy Expat. I've said it like 4 times already. All information, great videos, entertaining, and you'll definitely be happy that you saw it. So, as always, thanks for
Appreciate it.
watching, and we'll see you next time.
See you guys.